Sound check, audio quality check, video check, checking. Welcome once again, dear viewers. This is the Satellite Media. We are at Nakiwogo Pool Arena in Entebbe, where we are having a 16-man double life comp. And the current match, which is being streamed, is a match between Mukisa Herbert and Demba. That is Yuda Sembusi. They are racing to 6 in the semi-final of Life 1, where the winner will be proceeding to, of course, the final of that life, to meet the winner between Dangote and Kalema Paul. There is another match between Caleb and Kalema in the Life 1 of semi-final, actual quarter-final, if both charts are combined. This evening we are live at Nakiwogo Pool Arena once again. This is the Satellite Media. Audio is brought to you by Richard Travis Mukisa. I am happy to have streamed this match amidst the ongoing four-man comp in South Africa, where Caesar, Aiden, Jerry and Kelvin are taking part. Caesar was won by Jerry in a decisive frame, having failed to pot the two reds that were left on table, painfully taking the match into a decider by Jerry, and he lost the decider. I think South Africa is not a better hunting ground for my friend. However, we shall keep praying for him and keep asking the Almighty Lord to always bless him. Caesar Chandiga out of the four-man comp in South Africa. I think currently, I am not very sure because I have taken some 10 minutes off. By the time I last checked, Jerry and Aiden were all tied at 10-10. But I'm happy that you are here with me, liking the stream, commenting, sharing this live, and of course moving with me this journey. And this evening, to have these young lads also exposed to the world through streaming their games that would go unnoticed. We have always said we shall bring you closer to the source for any comp, whether for average players or senior players in the country. As long as we are in the reach, as long as it is within our vicinity or even far, we shall always bring you these matches to ensure that these young lads are exposed to the world. Exposed to the world. It's a race to 6, and these two are now racing to 5 as the scores are 1-1. Let us make it much as we are very few. I want to ask you that let the number that is watching be the number that has liked the stream kindly. kindly as Demba misses to port to the top right corner pocket, inviting Mukisa back on table. He supports the cue ball that was actually obstructing the top right corner pocket, and now he is on the verge of clearing the frame if he clinically manipulates the cue ball. Look at Herbert. It was always a suspect he would have at least played a follow shot to keep the cue ball bottom cushion. And now with 7 o'clock, not actually 7, but 5 o'clock on the cue ball, drawing the cue ball backwards. Now Demba extends the lead to 2 frames now against Mukisa, who has 1. That is, if the black is sunk. The scores for Herbert is 1, Demba 2, racing to 5. Audio commentary proceeds shortly. Demba. Score update: 1 Herbert, 3 Demba. With a dry break from Demba, now Mukisa Herbert playing the Reds and attacking seriously to at least extend his lead to 2 frames to 3. But it is always suspect. He may not. However, let us look at how he's manipulating the cue ball for this shot. Now, I think if he puts to the right middle, he has used a little bit of power, I think, then playing the other red. That is good use of the brains, allowing cue ball move the whole distance of the table so that he pots either bottom left or potting to the, I think it begins with bottom left. Cue ball has moved a little bit farther. It needed a little bit of tap to maintain it. However, I think he has cuts it to the center. Unfortunately, it's a miss. Score update: 1 Herbert, 3 Demba. With that big chance missed, I think Herbert may not be in position to recover. He has missed a very big chance of extending his scores to 2 frames against Demba, who has 3 in a race to 6. A little bit of trouble here, however. Demba is composed enough, utilizing the unforced errors from Herbert, playing top right corner pocket with a draw stun shot. Yeah, it was a stun draw, moving cue ball smaller distance backwards. He can also decide to play left middle with a follow shot. He does the same as predicted, and now he will be cutting the behind yellow into another yellow, potting to the top right, and the cue ball bouncing off top cushion. As simple as that. The rest at this point, even if it were you, even if it were left. However, he draws it backwards to pot to the corresponding corner pocket on the right. Demba to increase his lead, punishing Mukisa for his unforced error. Mukisa Herbert focused on only the positioning of the cue ball, which compromised his target, and now losing frame number 5. Demba 4, Herbert 1, racing to 6. Welcome, dear viewers. For those of you who have liked the stream, thank you so much. You have energized me this evening. If actually you were to look at me, I am standing while streaming this match, but of course dedicated to serve you people, my dear lovely viewers. Choosing the satellite media at this very time is not something that I can take for granted. Frank Height says he's watching from the arena. Bukenya Hillary, thank you for watching. Someone asking for the scores. It is 1 Herbert, Demba 4. Welcome to the stream. Continue liking, commenting, and sending in that feedback. We are very delighted that you are here with us this evening. A very risky shot has been played by Demba. And now Herbert is forcing a draw here. The black ball has been blocked, covered and occupied by the two yellows. Cue ball has moved a little bit further. However, if played with left, I beg your pardon, if played with the right spin, cue ball can bounce off the red and pot the black in the same shot. And that is the shot. Top spin on the cue ball. Good cueing. Score update: 5 Demba, 1 Mukisa Herbert. Racing to 6. Og Status says he's watching from Ghana. Welcome to the stream. Anthony Mukuye is asking for the scores. It is 5-1 in favor of Demba. Score update 5-2 in favor of Demba, racing to 6. Whether Herbert can bring all the 4 frames left needed of him before Demba scores 1, your guessing is as good as mine.
Manager, to be animal, I want to see them take a little boat. Just see what you can do. Body. Just relax it for I hope.
Final score 6-4. Demba through to the finals of Chat 2. advise me in the comment section whether I should just continue with the stream without stopping it. This is now because of the time, the final between Makwotang and Demba in the second life final. I beg your pardon, it's not second life final, it is a first life semi-final between Makwotang and Demba. Should I start a new stream or advise me, or we continue enjoying it as a snack? The continuation of the stream is having a match between Makwotang and Demba in the semi-final of Another Life. For those of you who have just joined the stream, we are at Nakiwogo Pool Arena here in Entebbe and on the shores of Lake Victoria, where the ship normally docks to, of course, load goods and people heading to the island of Kalangala. This is the most beautiful arena in the place, having 3 very, very good Pro League tables. You can pass by in a very convenient environment, very quiet, with a few drinks that you can take that most of us actually enjoy. It is a place managed by manager Shakur, with very welcoming attendance. He has organized a 16-man comp that started all the way from around 2 p.m. and right now, as I talk, it is another day, 17 past midnight. Another day and a Monday. The tournament is still going on, however, it is in its climax stages, with this match being streamed live as a semi-final of Life 1 between Demba and Mukisa. There is also another ongoing semi-final match between Caleb and Kalema in Life 1. So both semi-finals are being played in Life 1. And of course, we are waiting for the winners that I will be updating you shortly. Those who will be going to the final in Life 1. And then in Life 2, Demba has proceeded to the final. There will also be another match between Kalema and Dangote, who will be racing to 6 in a place into the final of Life 2. And therefore, after those finals in respective lives, we shall have a grand final. Welcome to the stream. Kindly continue liking and bringing in those comments that will help us know how better we can serve you, our dear viewers. Equalizer 1-1 between Makutanga and Demba in a race to 6. Enjoy. Dear viewers, this is the semi-final of Life 1, and the winner will be proceeding to final of Life 1. Then Chat 2 will also have a finalist, and therefore the 2 finalists will be playing the grand final. For those of you who know the matrix in the double life comp, there is always the final of each chat and the grand final if both chats are combined. If a player wins chat 1 and chat 2, then there is always no grand final. Extending his lead is Demba, putting the black bottom left 2-1 in a race to 6. Dear lovely viewers, Demba 3, Mukisa 1. The rest is 6.
Nzama na ude wata agulitano satu. Kama ndio wata ngamgama agulitano satu. Saída. Jiri ali mukule. Tera babyali mukuru.
Senior player uri muganga
agenda kweruma. Geri kirindi. Wano kimukubyeko bannanga abalami bonna balyeri. Ayiseewo. Kikibawo. Ngenda zanya. Ngenda zanya. Dangote. Olidde ne koodi zo. Draw, eh? Draw. Draw. Dear lovely viewers, welcome back from the match between Aiden and Jerry in South Africa, where Jerry has won a decisive frame, taking that money because it was winner taking it all. Welcome back from wherever you have been. We are now here back on the satellite media having a match between Demba and Nakiwogo, is the semi-final of Life 1 in a race to 6. The match was at one time 5. At one time it was 5-1, and currently the scores are 5-3, with Bakotang having forced a draw in the previous match. Now on the break, he's now playing the Reds, hoping to score a 4th and maybe a 5th, equalizing and winning the match. Table looks open. Kindly, from wherever you are, we've been waiting for you here at the satellite media at Nakiwogo Pool Arena. The 16-man comp is reaching its climax stages. We are having Demba. I would have been final in this tournament. It's now in the final of just Life 1, with Demba having 2 lives, being awaited for by Caleb Mohire, aka Water, in the final of Life 1. That is if Demba wins this match. He will be facing Caleb Mohire in the final of Life 1, and also Demba will be facing the winner between Caleb Powell and another player who is called the Nigerian richest man. If Demba wins both finals of the Life, then we shall not have a grand final. However, if one of the lives is taken down, then we shall have a grand final. It is only and only Demba with 2 lives in this tournament. Thank you. Continue liking and sharing, and of course subscribing if you haven't subscribed on this channel. We always pledge to bring you closer to the source. those of you who have been asking about the scores, this is the scoreboard we are using. Kindly bear with us. It's a digital one. However, the best is always underway. Whether Mark can force a comeback from 5-1. The match is currently 5-3. We want to witness the comeback from Mark Wutang. Demba needed one, but currently that one is lost in the forest as Mark draws the cue ball in a straight line to port to the bottom, actually to the left middle, to extend his lead 4 frames to 5, racing to 6. Score update 4-5 in favor of Demba. Mark Wutang. Mark Mochivi, aka Mark Wutang, is facing Yuda Sembusi, aka Demba. Demba is the trophy and the cup winner of the Entebbe Super 8-man comp. The Entebbe Corridor organized a Super 8-man comp that comprised Ivan Senyonjo of Kasenyi, it comprised Elia Junior, it had Arafat Kawonde, there was Dangote Lawrence, Caleb Mohire, and also Ben Ishoke. However, the winner emerged as Demba. Now the Entebbe finest donning the King's Sport Pool Arena t-shirt of the Entebbe Corridor Pool, black in color. He's taking on Mark Wutang. Of course, our friends from South Africa do not know this kind of mix and match. They are both putting on sports trousers. Here we call them jumpsuits, with Mark Wutang having a colored one and a hat. Yes, as I said, that match was played at King's Sport Pool in Nkumba. King's Sport is a very fine pool arena in Nkumba, opposite the traffic lights on your right as you're heading to Entebbe from Kampala. It's managed by Clinton Ijagwe of JC Multi Agencies. It's a very good agency that has been sponsoring players like Joseph Kasozi, Elia Jr. It now sponsors a one Nakato among those that are sponsored. There is also a lady by the names of Ayotaru who was also sponsored. Most of the pool fraternity know her as Dalila. She has also been sponsored by JC Malt Agencies. The arena is a very clean one, only that King's Sport is under renovation. However, the tables are, if you maneuver to reach the counter shelter, that's where the two tables are positioned for the daily customers, including those that can pass by. This is Nakiwogo Pool Arena, where we are having a semi-final match between Demba and Makutang. They are racing to 6, with Demba needing only 1 and Makutang needing 2. Demba is the only player in this comp that is left with 2 lives intact. If he wins this, then he will have taken life 1 to the final, awaiting to play the winner between Kalema and Dangote in the final of life 2. As I said, the score update is 4-5. Demba now with a little bit of trouble manipulating cue ball. It may not be very natural for the porting of the black. However, if he plays it with backspin, it may go off the red and get positioned for the porting of the black top left corner pocket. This may be Makutang's last action in the tournament. Very perfect showing, seniority in action, precision, passion and practice together with experience. He will aim for one more time, taking a deep breath, pre-stroke unfixed. Demba pots the black to win the match and take his life into the final of life 1. He will be facing Caleb Muhire in life 1 final, and also we will be facing the winner between Kalema Paul and Dangote in life 2. If he goes with both lives in the final and wins both matches, that means we shall not have a grand final. Dear viewers, action still continues here at Nakiwogo Pool Arena. Very soon we are going to be sharing a link for the final of either life 1 or life 2, and we shall be waiting for the grand final. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Uganda. Thank you, East Africa. Thank you, world.